former Queensland Red superstars, Aiden Toa and Dallin Murphy. Lads, how are we?
People, yeah, mate, good, really good.
Very, very excited to be here, obviously.
Bit nervous?
A little bit nervous. On our bench, the battlers, the gruesome twosome, Big Fat Darcy, Ryan Fellini.
Fellow Terration, mate.
What do I ask you? I don't really have a question, mate. I love you, mate.
Yo, ma! Nice one, Big Fat Darcy.
Gotcha.
Welcome to the PAC Show, proudly brought to you by the PAC Athletic Club and DoubleTake Sports, where we're going to be bringing you all the news, the interviews, the reviews, previews, the highlights, and lowlights from rugby here in Australia and around the world. My name's Jay Ball, and joining me, unfortunately, no Doss again, but we've still got Dallin Murphy joining us in the studio, and the gruesome twosome back once again for the second week in a row. Big Fat Darcy.
No, lingo.
The claw, good stuff, and the kill switch himself, Ryan Freedy. Friends, how you holding up? I heard you got a few minutes on the weekend.
Yeah, mate. Come off the bench for Reggie's.
And then smoke bomb, didn't you? You ran.
I got early comms that I wasn't benching for Prem, so I thought, you know what, I'm going to do a good thing and go in the Goldie and watch the misses.
Oh, well,
And,
now I feel bad.
Yeah.
Now I'm over it.
No, but I had the actual, I had the game on, watching it while I was driving. Don't put that in. Cut it. Yeah,
Don't
no,
worry,
but
it's
yeah.
not live, man.
Yeah, but that was what a win. What a win. Both Reggie's and Prem's. And the best was just Trelly, a.k.a. Treddy, just giving it to Hunter and that.
Up on the deck there.
It was good when he went full leaguey for a minute there.
I don't mind it, man, especially if it's going the way of HT 400. But
Yeah.
So what was the score in the Rezzies game then?
Oh, we pumped him.
Pumped them?
Mate,
So general
just
pumping.
straight up the guts. There was just absolutely no resistance. But, geez, they were quick. The West Reggie's backs, they were fucking quick. Really quick. Really skillful, too. Like, every time they did get the ball, they just scored. And like, what the hell just
Still
happened?
back stuff. Is this comparable to what? Real quick.
They're fast compared to Friends.
Yeah.
No, they were quick.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
We'll let
Wow.
it slide.
Doesn't matter, though.
I hate that we... What? This is the worst angle.
Yeah, I know,
There's
man.
nothing to hide our
I've
tummy.
sussed it out.
Right?
You've got to go
Sit
black.
like that again.
You've
Then.
got to
And then
go.
there's some of this poking out. Like,
Das.
Look at Freddie's crotch.
don't look at
The
it.
moose knuckle.
Oh, no.
What is that?
What are those?
It's
Don't
the,
do it, don't
it's the
do it.
gusset. It's that gusset that we've been going on about.
They're,
In the pack shorts,
They
just
are
in case.
pack fit shorts, yeah, and they
fit
do
shorts.
have a stretchy gusset
Classic-
for the
classic
girthier gentlemen.
The Grundle gusset.
The
We're not all-
Grundle
really-
gusset.
Okay.
But anyway, if
So
you want,
that's
if
we
you want
need
your top,
something-
if you want your top to look better, black shirts.
Yeah, that's true.
Black shirts, and you got to lean forward a bit like that, so you don't
black,
look ridiculous.
black.
Because right now you look ridiculous. Though.
You look like a couple of lunatics, that's for damn sure. All right, let's get straight into it because we've got a pretty massive episode coming up. We got PAC news as per usual. We're going to be discussing the upcoming Super Rugby quarterfinals with none other than Scott Seo from the Brumbies, which is going to be absolutely awesome. We've got some Hospital Cup and some Shoot Shield footy to review as well. Some big wins and gut-wrenching losses for the Doggies that we'll get into. And we've also, I think we've got a very special interview. I don't know who it might be, but I think Big Fat Darcy was able to get... Do we want to announce who we might be able to get on the blower later on? Did you tee it up, didn't you? Or?
I think I did. We'll see if it's gone through. I'm not too sure.
Okay, well...
Well, I
we-
had questions prepared for someone.
Well, save them
I
for
think
Scott
it was
Seo because I think we might have another interview lined up. Big Fat Darcy said he might have someone on the blower who might be able to give us a bit of intel in regards to some happenings down there at the kennel. But without further ado, it's time for PAC News.
Come on, Zach.
Yes.
Yes, hard-hitting stuff. Not too much to discuss by way of news this week, but we thought it would be a good opportunity to sort of review the four sides and their season that didn't make it into the Super Rugby quarterfinals, especially after the results we saw on the weekend with some big boil-overs from guys like Moana Pacifica, the Force, and the Rebels. But first and foremost... Kill switch. The Tongan Squad was named, and those big names were in there. Charles Piutau, Izzy Folau, Malachi Fekitoa, and Augie Pulu, all named in that squad.
It's beautiful, mate. I was very happy when I was in this squad. I was ring Todd and I told him I can also be on the bench if you want. I'm playing big minutes, 20 minutes for the rest of this month. Get me on there. No, but yeah, how good was that?
Mate, it was bloody good. But
Good.
Dow, that's a warning shot in regards to these new eligibility rules, especially considering Adam Coleman has also put his hand up and said come November he wants to be part of the Tongan squad.
Yeah, and it's super exciting, right? We're leading into a 2023 World Cup in France. In my opinion, it's probably the most exciting World Cup, to date. You look at this squad, you look at the Samoan squad that's going to be announced pretty soon. There's rumours of guys like Christian Liliafano putting his hand up for Samoa.
Oh, yeah.
It's extremely exciting and it's great for the world game. I'm really, really nervous, you know what I mean, about these nations, Tonga, Samoa. Look how dangerous they possibly can be. And I reckon next year's World Cup, they're going to take some proper heads.
I mean, we were even just
Literally.
sort of... we were saying at the start of when we were doing the PAC show, think about guys like Ile Isidro Sese and Filippo Dalgun might be going back to the Drua. It's already happened, and now they've got squads like this being announced.
It's good.
It's setting the tone, friends.
I love it. I reckon it. I've wanted personally it to become sort of like the World Cup of soccer, where you just got all these nations that are
All
good.
vying.
Like, I mean, it probably won't happen this World Cup, but hopefully, they're going to cause some upsets, and hopefully it's for guys who, aren't going to there's what's that other second rower's name?
Jerome Hughes.
No. You remember that the guy who played for the All Blacks? There's a couple of other guys that can qualify as well.
For Tonga? Sam
Yeah.
Lousy, I think, said
Yeah,
that
Sam
he's probably going to
Lousy.
be in there.
Can't remember his name. What about Charlie Gamble? I think he's got some Tonga in him.
He does.
He won 7. But then you got Colby Fainga.
Yeah.
Fainga. I'm not sure if he'll...
Well,
put his
he
hand
was
up,
actually on tour with the Wallabies last year, but didn't actually play an international match. So that's a bit of a weird one there. But
Imagine that.
oh, mate,
Getting a few, another couple of solid... Nili Latu, he's done now, so you could get, Charlie Gamble.
Guys like Waisaki Naholo are all playing over in MLR and stuff like that. So there are top grade footy players, and with the expansion of domestic competitions around the world, allowing these guys to not just go to New Zealand or Australia, but they can go to UK, they can even go to Italy, they can go to France, they can go to the US. I think it's just going to open it up.
Via Fafita.
Via
Remember him?
Fafita,
I think he might almost qualify as well.
I think he does pretty soon, yeah.
Yeah, so, I think there was a few in October.
Yeah.
In October or something they can qualify. So that's Adam Coleman, Via Fafita, Colby Fainga.
We're saying as well, Ire Simone is one, for Samoa.
He'd be silly. He's young. He's awesome.
We're geeking a little bit,
But it's
aren't
good.
we?
But it's good.
We definitely need Marika to
awesome.
play for us in against England. Keep him as long as we possibly can. God damn, man. If we lose him, we're fucked. As I was saying, there's not too much in the newscape. So let's just sort of discuss some of the teams that aren't going to be playing in the Super Rugby quarterfinals this weekend. Starting with last place, 14th place, Moana Pacifica. 2 wins, 12 losses, minus 247 points differential, 2 bonus points. 10 points total. Dow, how would you rate Moana Pacifica's season?
Successful.
Yep.
Massively successful in my
2
opinion.
wins.
2 wins against 2 really, really quality teams. Obviously knocking off the Brumbies just last week. But if you look at the schedule they've had and what they've had to endure and the depth of the squad they've had to use, I think coming in and performing the way they have has just been massive. They push teams and the New Zealand teams as well to the limit. Obviously, there's a few blowout games, but I think massively successful for them, and I think they'll be bigger, better, and faster next year.
Well, you hit the nail on the head. Their schedule was absolute nightmare fuel, but friends, some of the players they've got coming through there, they have cohesion and a normal schedule. They're going to kill us.
Yeah, that 100% that schedule sucked for them. Well, my favourite halfback of the year, I reckon, Anari. He was one of my favourite players all year. He was insane.
But he was doing the rounds in Super Rugby for a bit and playing a lot of the NPC and was good, but went to another level, and that was...
some of those back rowers too, their tight game was really good.
Like Tim A. Stowers and stuff like that, and we saw...
I reckon it was an awesome season. Awesome season to have them there, and that sort of bridged the gap too with some of those Pacific nations, getting some good footy, not just playing that domestic New Zealand comp or whatever, that they can play Super Rugby and they can get selected for the Island Nation, so it'll just boost that 100%. Up a bit more too.
And that was one of the biggest things for them, is that it sparked something in some of the players, the likes of Sekopi Kepu and Christian Lealiafano.
He's another one you can go to Tonga too, isn't it?
Yeah. But that's it, right? They were able to extend their careers a little bit, and Christian's actually close to playing some of the best footy he's been playing in a long
absolutely.
time. But it seems to have reinvigorated like Polynesian footy.
100%.
And they are going to be very tough to bring down over the next couple of years. As you said, friends, especially with these new eligibility rules allowing them to play for their home country. 13th spot, Fiji and Drua. Again, 2 wins, 12 losses, minus 257 points differential, but 4 bonus points, 12 points in total. The Fijian and Drua, best team to watch this season, Big Fat Das.
Yeah, mate. I'd say a thorough success. Mate, just them being able to... Sure, they didn't get as many wins as they could have, but they were in the games and they just kept playing their brand of footy.
That was the
Just
big one for mine.
man.
They didn't stop playing Fiji
It was
footy.
awesome. Yeah.
And you're getting guys like John Tico and stuff from West.
Yeah.
So you're getting these guys that are, not making it for Super Rugby teams, Reds and all that sort of stuff, but they're getting call-ups for the draw.
Love it.
And they, then they can possibly go to international honours and,
Yeah.
and get a career out of it as well.
It allows
they
them to
score for anywhere.
engage.
That's a
Yeah,
shot.
it allows
Yeah.
them to engage like every game. The one on the weekend, the crowd was so hectic. But like every crowd they went to, there was always some diehard Fijians going absolutely
100%.
crazy at the stadiums. Like they would have best brand of attacking footy, but also the best fans in the crowd.
Yeah.
Like they are so exciting to watch. But Dow, do you think with the inclusion of these new eligibility rules, Fiji and Drua are probably, of those 2 new teams, the one that's probably going to kick on with some of the new signings probably coming back?
Yeah, I think so. And I think if you look at it, moving back to the island, and we all know how difficult it is to travel to Fiji and play rugby and win over there, I think they're going to be a bit of a force. But I feel like with these new eligibility laws, there's going to be certain players, definitely coming home and wanting to move
has
back.
already
Yeah, exactly
gone
right.
over.
And wants to live that kind of a lifestyle. And they've got a big thing at the moment for development, so they're not just trying to bring back big names. They're trying to develop guys over there, and they're going to set it. They've set it some pretty good standards over on the island to bring these young kids through. So I think it's going to be really, really scary for them next year.
I just hope like the infrastructure and stuff, especially. I'm not sure when Moana Pacific are going to be based next year, but I think just the infrastructure, if they can build that, and that also extends to the international side
around the side.
Because you do get the odd, the donations that are going from IRB or whatever, sort of go a bit missing, and then old mate ends up with a new house. Type sort of scenario. But if we can, you know what I mean, like if they can really build some good infrastructure as well, and then that goes to the, helps with the international rugby, I reckon that'd be awesome.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Well, it gives a reason for funding to go to the national side and then trickle down through. So, mate, they're going to be so bloody scary. Melbourne Rebels coming in 12th spot, jagging their 4th and final win in the final round of the season just gone. Big Fat Das. What are your thoughts on the Rebels, mate? Fail?
Mate, this is their year to start showing like
something.
Attacking footy, like positive footy.
They still seem like they don't necessarily know what brand of footy they want to play.
Man, and you look at their squad, like for their squad, for them to have come in, what did you say, 12th? 13th?
12.
No. I'd say unsuccessful.
I reckon unsuccessful, but
yes.
I reckon there was some snippets of some really good footy there.
Yeah.
Like their captain, what's his name? Mitch, the guy with the headgear. He's
Michael
awesome.
Wells.
Yeah, Michael Wells. Mitchell, Michael.
No, they actually came 10th. There's only 12 teams.
Bobby Tuttle, I thought Bobby Tuttle had a good year. He directed well.
Bobby Tuttle's re-signed for 2 more years as
yes.
well.
Carter Gordon, sort of towards that end of the year, he started showing some snippets of what he can do. I thought they were underwhelming for most of it, but they played some good footy for some of it. Does that make sense? And there's some good, who's that?
Glimpses of what they can do.
Which is even more disappointing.
Which is more frustrating because they've done that the last 3 years as well.
Yeah.
Who was that big back rower? He was...
Tamani Iwane?
Ioane, yeah. He was gun. So there's some good players that they've probably discovered, but...
And he's out of the John Ident competition in Canberra, I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
So I don't know. It's
He's a gun, mate.
It's frustrating because they can play some good footy, but I think what you hit the nail on the head. Just what are they trying to do? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know whether they're trying to play hard-nosed footy, they're trying to play with width, or they're trying to play an up-tempo game. Not too sure. Once they find out what they want to do and they can execute, I think they'll kill it. What do you reckon for the Rebels then, Dow? Do you reckon there's a missing piece that might help them get over the line, like a Samu Karevi?
No.
Obviously, Samu would help at any side.
Absolutely.
But do you think they need someone like that?
Yeah, I feel like they maybe need a few key cornerstone guys like that, but I feel like they got to back their youth. So I'm going to disagree with you guys, and I reckon they've had a successful year.
No, I agree. We've had a successful
No, I get what you're saying.
No, because look at the talent they've unearthed. Do you know what I mean? You got Lucas Ripley, you've got Glenn Vahu, you've got
he had a
Carter
good season.
Gordon, and all these young guys who, in my opinion, now they've got it back. So they didn't back Carter at the start of the year. He played one game. They dropped him straight to the bench.
Ugh.
You know what I mean? You got to give these guys an opportunity to fail and be successful
And to work their way into it.
Exactly right. So I think people forget, if we look at Quaid and how he progressed through his first couple of years, like he was rocks and diamonds consistently, but they backed him, they continued on with him, and they developed him through. So these are the type of guys who I feel like, this is our group.
This is why we're on the bench.
Let's move ahead with it. And so I think if they could do that
We're wrong.
and get a few key guys, like Samu's
with
or
you.
all that kind of stuff, then I think
that's what I was trying to
I
say.
think Dal's right. That's what, that's what we were trying to say.
That's what we-
exactly what we were
basically
trying
what
to
I tried to
say.
say.
I agreed with him, and I don't know what I was doing. I was like, what? I thought it was sure.
I get what you're saying though, Dal.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying.
It's just weird only having one, wise word in this whole place. We need DOS back, man, because it's just
I was trying,
it's the
man.
lunatics running the
Because
asylum.
it'd just be me
mate.
and Dos in the wise words.
Yeah, that's it, man. We'd be lost without you, big fat Das. All right, and then the Western Force just missing out on a final spot. Big fat Das.
No,
again,
let's go Dal first so we can copy him.
Here, wait. I defer to Dal.
Yes. Big fat Das. What does Dow think about the Western Force season?
I think they'll be disappointed.
Disappointed.
Yes.
I think disappointed. I'll take it from here, Dal. Now that I know which way. No, you go, Dal.
You're looking at seven losing bonus points. I feel like that's massive for their season.
Yeah.
They were in every single one of those games. If there's a little bit, I don't know, a little bit more character in what they were doing, I feel like they win those games.
Yeah.
And so I think they'll be disappointed, but they'll be better for next year. They're going to lose a lot of experience. We saw Thrush, we saw Holmes, we saw Reddy, we saw Richard Kahui. So they need to bring some guys in to fill those spots. So it'll be interesting to see who they do sign.
Yeah, 100%.
Thrush is a big loss. He was
Yeah.
he was awesome, mate. He was always just that hard nosed, big Kiwi second rower.
Yeah.
He was good.
Well, what are they?
I've been trying to get rid of Thrush for years. But I didn't do it because I'm a gentleman. I'm a terrorist. I'm a gentleman. I think considering this season had a change of coach for the Force, and they knew that they were losing 7, 8, 9 blokes at the end of the season.
Yeah.
And Force, and that last game they played with the win, great send off, but it's just disappointing because
A little bit too little, too late.
you see how well they can play, exactly like the Rebels kind of thing. It's just disappointing.
Well, Dow, what do you reckon then? Do you think Cron coming in is going to be sort of the catalyst they need, or do they definitely need to be recruiting really well?
Yeah.
Yeah, they need to recruit some top tier guys, and I think Cronny obviously will try and come in and make a big difference. But we'll see. I like Tim Sampson. I think he's done a terrific job, but it'll be interesting to see what happens.
Yeah. Do you reckon Cron will be sort of the one spearheading that recruitment drive? Do you think, or do you think that's he'd be working on that
100%,
right now, wouldn't he?
100%. Yeah, he's already
Yeah.
signed guys. You know what I mean? It's happening right now.
Do you
And
have
it's-
any names?
No.
So it's not so much.
He does. He knows everyone.
Do you think that they need to be looking for experience as well as
Definitely.
youth?
As
Yeah, but it's
development,
more unlike the Rebels, who, as you said, they sort of back their youth. These guys have lost so much experience. Maybe they need to
They need to fill that. Yeah.
replace those old experienced heads.
I reckon there's been some good development though, like your Ralstons and blokes like that.
Yeah, but he's leaving.
Is he leaving?
He's going to Connacht. He's got Irish heritage.
Fuck.
And Chilean heritage as well, doesn't he?
I'm not sure. Yeah, there's something else.
Something like that.
Yeah. But I had a question for you guys
Yes.
before we kind of move on to the Battlers bench. Game finished on the weekend. Rebels v Highlanders, 31-30.
Yep.
Matt Tamur gets the ball. Obviously, the last penalty. I'm watching the game. In my opinion, he looks like he's like, let's go. Let's have a crack here. I want to get the Force in. And then seemed to be a call from the sideline or something happened. You know what I mean? And they're like, no, tap it, kick the ball out. And a few other players were like, no, tap it, kick the ball out. If you're in that situation, what are you doing?
What was the score again?
31-30. So they
31-30.
needed a winning bonus point to get the Force through.
Yeah.
And instead, they tapped the ball and kicked it out. And so that was it. So they won, which was awesome. Terrific for them. But if you're in that situation, what are you doing?
I remember, do you remember a couple of years, 10 years or so ago, the Reds needed a bonus point, and I think it was Stephen Moore and Matt Giddo at the Brumbies opted to just take the points, which that screwed the Reds over from that bonus point. And there's a lot of conjecture about that too. And I don't really know, it's so hard to like pick a side in this because at the end of the day...
Show no mercy.
Yeah.
Show no mercy.
At the end of the day, does your allegiance lie with the Rebels or the Force? Yeah. Or does it lie with Aussie Rugby?
I would have been like, no.
It's a tough one, eh?
It's hard.
Yeah.
Because what if the Rebels go full Rebels, go for the corner, knock it on, and the Highlanders run the full field and they score?
Yeah, and I think that's probably...
Yeah.
Because if anyone could do it, the Rebels would probably do it.
Yeah.
Like,
and then at the end of the day, you'd rather the win than worry about the Force. Show no mercy.
Show no mercy.
Show no mercy, not our problem.
Is that just Matt Tuamua just being a good bloke, you reckon?
Yeah, I reckon he was like, let's go. And then everyone's like, whoa.
Whoa.
We don't know that.
We haven't won a game for fucking 10 weeks.
Yeah.
No. No, Matthew. Yeah, show no mercy, in my opinion.
Show no mercy when it comes to helping out the other teams.
Yep.
Fair enough.
Fair enough.
Ruthless kill switch. That's why they call you the kill switch. All right, well, that rounds out PAC news. Unfortunately, Big Fat Das has run off somewhere. I don't know where he's gone because we were meant to go to the battlers bench at the moment, but unfortunately, he's run off. But I'm just getting word from Zach that apparently we've got a new caller coming in before we have our Scott Zio interview. It's not on the run sheet here. Who have we got? Who do we have on the blower here? Who are you?
It's me, Gregor, the groundsman from West Bulldogs. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, Gregor. So what's the purpose of you getting on the blower here? Are you the guy that Big Fat Das said he was going to arrange for us to have a few questions regarding what's going on at the kennel?
Big friendly Das. Yeah. That's me. Mate, I just want to clear up a few things as to what's been going on for the last week or two down at the kennel.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, fair enough. Well, we've been hanging a bit of shit on yourself, Gregor, in regards to who gave the green light to play that fixture between Bond a few weeks ago when every other game was called off. Whose call was that?
And why was it Delvy's?
In the end, yes, it was my call. But you know what they say. The saying is, if there's mud on the field, let's play rugby, right? Is that how it is?
Absolutely, my bad.
I've got no idea. But why did you let them play? Why did you give them the green light?
Mate, just let the boys play. A bit of mud, she'll be fine, right? And then there's all this. Someone kicked up a little bit of a stink. Someone made a phone call. Field inspection. Here we are. Right?
Fair enough. Did you not think to consult with someone else in regards to whether the game should go ahead?
Who would you like me to consult with? I'm the groundsman. Right?
Well, where did you learn to be a groundsman? Because that ground looks like shit.
I was the greenskeeper at Coolum Hyde Golf Course.
Is that Clyde Palmer's?
Yeah. And, we added some dinosaurs, and that's where that ended up. But do you want me to be honest with you?
Yeah, please.
Okay. I hate mowing grass. Okay?
Yeah.
It sucks. Have you ever you know what it's like to mow 2 footy fields of grass every day? It sucks. I thought, let's let the guys play, turn it into mud. I don't have to mow it for another 3 months, and I can music, right? Tour coming up, focus on.
What sort of music do you play, Gregor?
I've got an album coming out called Slippery When Wet. It's more Vanessa Amorosi kind of entrance, kind of mixy, kind of, it's one of my passions. I also, do you remember Sandcorp at Suncorp there?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was me. I was in Fiji. I was meant to water the grass before I left. I just didn't get the time. everyone needs to grow up, right? It's just a footy field. Just get over it. P.S. I may have rung. Herbie didn't ring the QRU. It was me. Anyway, I don't want to get into it. It was me. It was me. P.S. I'm on SoundCloud. So just whatever.
Wonderful, Gregor. Yeah. So Slippery When Wet, was it? Is it your artist name? It's just Gregor the Groundsman?
Yeah, so Slippery When Wet, and then yeah, Slippery When Wet, and then it's absolutely. Okay.
Cut.
Wait, yeah.
All right. Thanks, Gregor.
I gotta go, guys.
All
I gotta go, guys. I got another field inspection. I gotta go.
Okay. Thanks, Gregor. Gregor the Groundsman, everybody.
Fucking hell. It went worse than I thought it would. Write that down, Dal. Cancel that segment next week.
Gregor the Groundsman, everybody. Oh, big fat dash. You just missed Gregor.
Yep. P.S. Who edits this?
It's live.
Timestamp? We're going to timestamp, Zach. Well, because Doss was meant to
Yeah.
To be honest, it's all because Doss wasn't here. I had a whole thing lined up. That's called improv, guys. Yes, and go. You go. I've got the ball. You take the ball. Dal, where were you on that one, mate?
Well, I stayed silent. I just wanted to see you crash and burn.
Disappointing. Well, I think that's something we.
That was a real West.
Right,
that was a real West.
No, but I liked
performance.
it. I love that you had a crack.
Yeah.
I like
Don't
it too.
say it like that. You sound like my dad.
Yeah, talking to like an autistic 8-year-old. No, well done. You had a crack. Well done.
Sounds like
Stayed between the lines.
I like it.
Sounds like West Trophy night. Oh, we gave it a crack. We were in it for a little while.
Oh, yeah.
We're a 60-minute team.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Jesus Christ. Gregor the Groundsman, everybody.
I think he might be back.
Hope not. All right, well, let's review, before we get Scotty CO on the blower, let's have a quick recap of the final round of Super Rugby just gone. As I said, some pretty big score lines. I think your phone's still on. Gregor. Moana Pacifica playing that catch-up game, 48-28 down to the 4. Saders 28, Reds 15. We're not going to discuss that. Reds were woeful. The Drua 34-35 against the Chiefs. Man, this was a sick game, and that crowd, man, is absolutely red hot. The Force 27 over the Canes 22, and then the Rebels 31-30 over the Landers. But the game I really, really want to discuss, the two of them, Tars 17 to the Blues 20. Kill switch. This one hurt, eh?
Yeah.
This was
another drop goal.
Just the same thing, but this week with, I think it was San Sullivan nailing that last-minute field goal. That one stings, but, mate, what a turnaround from the Tars kill switch.
Yeah.
Mate, they've gone from no wins last year to finals this year and pushing the table-topping Blues in the final round of the season.
Yeah, it was a good way. It sucks losing, but yeah, they improved out of sight really, and they've been, to be honest, as much as I hate to say it, they've been one of my favourite teams to watch all year.
I know it kills me to
kills
say it.
Yeah.
I hate the Tars.
Been playing good footy,
But
good brand of footy.
Awesome brand of footy.
Yeah, there's some the players have just stood up and just taken a Wallabies jersey really,
Yeah.
and yeah, just exciting to watch all year really, and it's just you can see. Obviously the boys are just getting around the boys. They're happy playing under their coach. The culture looks good, and they're playing, good footy and enjoying it.
Yeah.
By the looks of it.
They look to be enjoying themselves. It's tough to enjoy a season when you go on a duck egg like they did last year, but mate, they're awesome to watch. And as much as it
That's
pains me
massive
to say,
turnaround though. From last year to this year.
they need to be staying at Leichhardt Stadium too.
Yeah, that was sick. I rated
Leichhardt
that
Oval,
a
whatever
lot.
it is.
I rated that a lot.
They love it there too. Yeah. So why wouldn't you just stay out there at Leichhardt and just get shit canned on the hill? And then a huge boil over. Moana Pacifica 32-22 over the Brumbies. Dow, what the hell happened here, man?
Christian Lealiafano.
He did happen.
150 games. He was sensational. He just led around the park beautifully, and they just applied a lot of pressure. They played some really good rugby, and they put the Brumbies in some vulnerable positions. And the Brumbies weren't at their best.
No, they weren't.
Christian Lealiifano was just sensational. Hats off to him. As you said, like he's been around a very, very long time, and he's all playing some of the best foot he's ever played.
He'd be, 33 now?
Yeah.
And he's looking better than he almost ever has, which is absolutely massive to say. But do you think this is a bad sign, kill switch, leading into finals for the Brums?
No. I think they've been the pinnacle all year in Australian rugby, I think. So I think, having a loss to, if you lose to Moana Pacific, it's probably a team you're not going to be super sad about losing to because they're, it's for, I think better of the game. But I thought they, like in the tight stuff, they were good. Like, the maul defense and stuff like that, they were really good, which Brumbies, like even against the Kiwi teams, have been hard to stop with their mauls and stuff. A few instances. I didn't get to watch the whole game. I watched the highlights and stuff and just their maul defense and stuff.
Just going to the shops or...
Coming from the bloke who watches maybe one game a week. I'm
Maybe.
committed, Darcy.
Maybe? I got a maybe out of him. I don't think the Brumbies would be too disappointed losing to Pacifica because now they play the Hurricanes and 3 weeks ago they beat them 47-25. Oh, what happened? Stats. I watched it on the way over here.
No, but that's, I don't know. Dow, what are your thoughts on it? Do you think the Brumbies would be disappointed with it, but do you think it's a red flag for them coming into this weekend?
Nah, not at all. As Freen said, they've been the yardstick all year. They've been sensational. They're an elite outfit. They've got, the best program, you know what I mean, in Australia at the moment, and they'll bounce back so well. I think they'll be fine. And a home final, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Doesn't get much better than that.
Well, let's discuss. We may as well. We're still waiting for Scott to jump on the blower. He should be on any minute now. But what about the Force 27 over the Canes 22 and then the Rebels 31 over the Landers 30? Like, granted, last round of the season. Do you think that was just the Kiwi sides letting up? Or
No way.
No, I don't picture them doing it. They may rest a couple of guys here and there, but they're still red hot. And that right there, like, that's a good score sheet for Aussie rugby sides, especially considering the way that Super Rugby Pacific went last year. Do you think it's only onwards and upwards now?
Yeah, I think it's a great measure of where we're at, and I think it's a great measure of where they're at. So I feel like they're moving into a bit of a transition phase. They've got a lot of young guys coming through, and teams are starting to be a little bit stretched now. They'll lose a lot of experience beyond next year. But I feel like we're showing some great improvements. We've got some of the best coaches in the world, in my opinion, here now, doing a terrific job. And we've got a good group of young players coming through, which I think are really starting to step up. So teams are wanting to play, players are wanting to play for each other, and there's some good cohesion. I think squads are staying together quite well, which is also adding to that. So I'm excited for Australian rugby.
I thought I was having a little think about it in my little head on the weekend, but I thought what the problem, we just don't have the depth of the Kiwi teams, right? For instance, we lose Nella. Guys sort of like that. We have a couple of big injuries for our key players. It affects us a bit more than it does some of the Kiwi teams. I think that's where the difference was. But I thought this year our improvement has been it was there. You could see that the
They're
teams
still improving.
We're getting pumped. Was it last year? We're getting pumped. One of those COVID years, and I was like, oh god, we're going back to square one. But from even last year to this year, I think the improvement's definitely gone up. It's just that. We lose a couple of key players Nella. You miss a guy like that from any team, it's going to affect you. But I just think the gap from our starting 23 or a 23 squad, and then the next guy's just a little bit not as developed as some of the Kiwi guys, in my opinion. Could be wrong.
That's probably why the Brumbies are so good. They've probably got a good squad of 30 that can all get the job done, whereas others might be a bit short here and there. Well, last year we won one game in Super Rugby Pacific against Kiwi opposition. This year, just this round alone, the two lowest ranked Aussie sides jagged wins. Yeah. So, I mean, that's saying something. I don't know what I'm saying. I'll leave that for Dallin because
we're going to win the World Cup.
That's what I was saying. Yes, terrific. All right, we're still waiting for Scotty CO. So, without that, we may as well just go straight into the Hospital Cup, round 6. Bond 29 over Souths 24. Souths are going to be right up there this year. They've got those 3 big new recruits, Bernie Nicol, George Francis, and Sam Matafa, all adding really good. Who cares about that? On the blower, we've got Scott CO from the Brumbies joining us. Scotty, how are you, brother?
Good, thanks, guys. Thanks for having me on.
No, thank you very much for joining us. We were just discussing Queensland Club Rugby. Who gives a shit about that? We've got you on the blower, mate. How's the body holding up after the last weekend? Obviously, you guys had a surprise loss to Moana Pacifica. Is there much chat around that leading into finals at all, or?
Oh yeah, I think after a tough loss like that, you got to take your learnings. So that's what today was about. Back at training, but full credit to Moana. They turned up on the day and wanted it more than us. And body's a bit sore from having to tackle a few big bodies, eh?
Can only imagine.
Obviously, a big week this week. Home final, though. The boys must be pretty excited about getting back home and building into this week. How is everyone feeling after the last weekend?
Yeah, obviously, tad disappointed, but as you said, we've got finals footy to look forward to. Back at home in front of our fans. It's pretty cold here though. Triple layered at the moment, but should be a good atmosphere on Saturday night.
Yeah, Scotty, friends here, mate. How are you? Oh yeah, panicking again. But no, mate.
The worst interviewer.
I know, mate. I'm so bad. After the game, how was it? Mingling with the Pacifica boys. Did you guys have a bit of a prayer and song and all that sort of stuff? Are you guys loving that sort of, cultural stuff that's obviously getting more exposed into the mainstream sort of stuff? And you guys enjoying that sort of stuff, and then the injection of those teams?
Yeah, it's been unreal. Obviously, something different. They bring, a new vibe to the competition. Obviously, a lot of, Samoan, Tongan, and Fijian heritage and culture and tradition is built off the back of, song, which is, a big part of the community. So it's really cool to see it, up on the platform, the Super Rugby platform, and, being recognised and I guess just having teams like the Drua and Moana able to sort of showcase how talented those players from the islands are, and just to give them the opportunity.
Well, Scott, I want to ask you a question sort of in relation to that. We were discussing on the show at the start. Obviously, the Tongan Squad was announced last week with Izzy Folau, Fekatoa, Augie Pulu and Charles Piatow all named in it. I mean, that's literally just the start of these new eligibility rules. What are your thoughts on these new eligibility rules that allows players to represent a country of their heritage a few years after? Do you think it's going to be a real shot in the arm for the Polynesian game? Yeah.
I think it's it brings a lot of exposure first and foremost. I mean, some of the names that you rattled off there were real big grabs for for international rugby for the Wallabies and for the All Blacks for a number of years. And then I think the stand down period is a fair period. And I mean, if they still have sort of goals to play international rugby and they're not in the picture, and we can have some of the big names on the biggest platforms out there at our game's biggest stage, I mean, it's only going to benefit the game moving forward, isn't it? And for I guess world rugby, to keep growing as a sport, we want everyone to be competitive. And I guess if this gives everyone a bit more of a competitive edge, then I guess only time will tell.
G'day, Scott. Sfui here. Just wondering, you got any inside word on the Samoan team? Because it doesn't really matter, because Tonga going to smash them anyway. But do you have any inside word of any good players playing?
You must be cousins with Folau, my roommate.
Yeah, so I was tell him, don't play Wallabies this year. You come, you go play for Tonga. Don't worry about the Wallabies. I give you the money, then you give me the money back. But yeah, any good players for Samoa? You got the inside scoop?
Yeah. I heard Stephen Luatua, Lima Sopuanga, maybe Christian Leli Fano might be putting their hands up. Jordan Tafua. That's what I'm hearing.
They pass the ball, you count to 10, and then I still hit you, so it's no problem.
Yeah. That's it. Just like the Samoan league team is going to smash the Tongan. Yeah.
Oh my goodness, we're going to Hoka after this match.
Scott, just on that point, do you ever see it getting to a point like in rugby league where players are kind of shunning Australia and shunning New Zealand and going to play for their home countries? Do you ever see it getting to that point where it's just more about, all right, I'm going to go and play for my country of birth?
Oh, I don't think anything like that's going to happen in the near future. A lot of us still grew up in Australia and grew up in New Zealand and whatnot, and I think the biggest thing is for us as players still in the game is being role models and guys that the youth can aspire to. I think that was obviously probably a big thing was we didn't have many sort of PI faces to sort of look up to in the Wallabies back in the day, whereas nowadays was the representation across all the Super Rugby teams and throughout the Wallabies is pretty evident. So for a young guy growing up in Australia, there's a lot of guys to look up to. You've got in the backs, the likes of Hunter Paisami and Lenny Ikitau, Noah Lolesio coming through there as well, Pete Sumble in the forwards, Rob Valentini there too. So I think that's the big thing, and I think it was still, the dream to play for the Wallabies will still be at the forefront of a lot of young players' minds there. But things change a lot. We've seen how big of a change the last 2 years have been for the world. So I guess anything can happen down the track.
Scott, big fat Das here, mate. Why is everyone laughing already, mate? You probably we've all seen the photos of Matt Giddo, Adam Ashley Cooper over there with the LA Guiltinis and their budgie smugglers riding their bikes down Venice Beach. Do you reckon if Matty Giddo in a couple of years put a little second seat on his bike, you'd want to jump on it?
Ride tandem.
Just over there in the MLR. That looks like a pretty good vibe.
Yeah, a lot of carry on, though, eh?
Yeah. It's all over. Very big on social media, aren't they?
Good.
Yeah.
Bit much, eh, my fan? I don't know if that's my vibe, but America's pretty cool, eh? Obviously, it's pretty sad what's happening over there, but in terms of the growth of the game of rugby, we've seen America do that in leaps and bounds. They're obviously quite a big contender year in, year out in the sevens, and they're going to host the Rugby World Cup. So I might time my overseas run to be over there during that World Cup.
Smart move. Can always come on tour with the PAC boys if you want.
Yeah, boy.
You can bunk up with Freeney.
My Ruby is a big fan of your merchandise.
Oi.
Nice.
We might have to get on board there.
I think
Hell
so,
yeah.
mate.
Hope you like mankinis.
Yeah. Oh, no, mate. Love it. Thanks for the support.
You got any friends?
No, that was awesome.
Well, Scott, while we've got you on the blow, we thought it'd be good to get your insight as we preview this upcoming weekend's fixtures in Super Rugby, and obviously the quarterfinals. You guys are going to be there on the Saturday night, rounding it all out against the Canes. But on the Friday night, it's a rematch from literally a week ago. The Satyrs playing host to the Reds. The Satyrs dismantled them pretty handily last weekend. What are your thoughts on this? Who are you backing? Who do you think is actually going to win? Because that might be different to who you're backing.
Yeah, obviously, as a fellow Aussie, you always want the Australian teams to do well. It is a tall ask for the Reds boys, especially with Cody Taylor and Richie Mo'unga probably coming back to play, and playing in Christchurch is a whole challenge in itself. But I guess you saw, like we saw on the weekend against Moana, a team with nothing to lose and no expectations can be very dangerous. So, I think if the Crusaders take them lightly, early on, and the Reds can get some ascendancy and some momentum, they can put themselves in a good position. But it is a tough ask. 2 weeks on the road, playing in Christchurch. I think the Crusaders will probably get up there.
Yeah, you'd have to say so. Dow, the Satyrs last weekend, they were just too good.
They were
clinical.
They weren't even at their best, though. You know what I mean?
I forgot about
a
Richie
lot of
Milano
mistakes
and Cody Taylor.
Yeah,
Some key experience.
so did I.
Wait, they weren't even playing.
No. So
arrogance of them to rest, eh?
Yeah.
how dare they?
One more week they should rest.
I thought it was going to be a bloodbath. The boys held in there and sort of come back towards the end, which I was pretty proud of.
Early on, it looked like it was going to get away from the boys, but they did well to stay in there in the end. I mean, only losing by, 10 or something, 13 or something like that, but still pretty handily dispatched. Then on the Saturday, the Chiefs versus the Tars. The Tars, we were just saying before, probably playing the most exciting brand of footy in Australia, and the resurgence they've had from, I mean, for lack of a better term, being shithouse last year to being absolutely red hot and making the finals this year. Who are you backing in this one? Do you think the Tars have got it in them to do the Chiefs at home?
Yeah, I do. I think, as you said, they've had the biggest turnaround in Super Rugby, if we're honest. Considering the results they've had last year, and they've built some really good momentum heading into the finals, and their styles are pretty similar. So I think the biggest thing for the Tars is who's going to win the collisions there. I think through the middle. There's going to sort of be a telltale to who gets the upper hand in this game. But no, I think they've got a good balance of running rugby and a kicking game. And I think it should be an exciting match.
So you're backing the Tars on that one?
Yeah, I'll back the Tars.
Yes, buddy.
Cool, got it written down. Game after that, we've got the Blues playing host to the Highlanders, 1 versus 8. I mean, the Highlanders lost on the weekend just to the Rebels. The Blues getting that last gasp win against the Tars. The Blues have well and truly been the form side all season. You'd expect this to be pretty one-way traffic in favour of the Blues, yeah?
Yeah, I think so. Similar to the Reds game with the Highlanders, they've got no expectation, nothing to lose playing against another Kiwi side. Anything can happen, but the Blues in Auckland have been pretty tough to beat, haven't they?
They just bash each other.
Yeah.
Mate,
That's it. That's
the
all we
Blues
want.
in Australia have been pretty bloody hard to beat as well. And then the final game on that Saturday, as I said, you guys are playing host to the Canes. I know, obviously, you guys are going to be backing in your boys to get the job done, as are we. But what's the game plan to be able to take down what can be a pretty bloody deadly Canes side?
Well, I mean, they're just littered with ball runners, aren't they? I mean, they can pretty much attack from anywhere on the field. So, how we front up defensively is going to be pretty important, and how we control the game at set piece there as well is going to help set that up. So, it's one of those, things. It's knockout footy. The pressure goes up a little. Each moment tends to count a lot more. I guess you just got to be clinical for the 80 here, and I guess that's the biggest thing, is playing for 80 minutes, which we found, because if you give them a sniff, mate, they're all over you.
Can you please tell my cousin Falau to use his arms in the tackle? We are no longer in Tonga. We cannot run in with no arms, please. I tell him, don't worry, when I see him, I tell him myself, but he's not answering my phone call anymore.
Yeah, he just got a new phone, eh?
Don't worry, I find him.
Send you his new number.
Yeah,
Sorry,
no,
Doc.
I don't think he has my Digicel number anymore. I've been asking him for.
You guys got
100
Digicel in Tonga?
Yeah, we got it, yes. Not getting the money either. So you tell him to make sure he needs to call me. Call his uncle, okay? Thank you.
Tell him to slide in your DMs on
Yeah,
Instagram.
slide in my DM, please, Falau.
Scott, I just want to touch on Dan Mckellar. And obviously you guys have been the yardstick in Australian rugby for the past, 5-6 years. And the influence that he's had on the squad. Obviously he's leaving at the end of the season. But just give us a little bit of insight in what he brings, to your program, and how much of an influence he's had on the development of all of you guys kind of coming through.
Yeah, Dan and I actually first met in 2012. He was my coach at Tongan Vikings there when I was playing club footy throughout that year here, my first year at Brumbies. And super detailed. He's probably the most detailed coach I've ever met. And throughout the years, you can tell he's had a good grasp on the entirety of the game. He was quite a good assistant coach at that time with the Brums when he first joined the fold, and was kind of very good in his area. But I think he's, developed a really good grip on what the whole game plan needs to look like there as well. But in terms of coaches I've been involved with in the past, he never skips over any little detail. You can tell the work he puts in behind the scenes, through his preview and review in the meetings. So, it's been, great for me to sort of understand that from an analytical point of view as a rugby player and help me sort of improve my game there. And, I guess having known Dan for so long, built a good relationship, good bit of banter there as well too. Being one of the elder statesmen in the team, I probably get away with a few jabs here and there in the day-to-day.
And is there a little bit more feeling in this final series, trying to send him out, as a winner?
Yeah, for sure. I think he's contributed so much now for would be 9 years. He's pretty much been involved 9 seasons. He's been involved with us here at the Brumbies. So. Sending him out as a winner is obviously a big goal of ours, and just like it is for a lot of the players leaving next year as well.
Oh, sorry, Scott. I thought Big Fat Das. Big Fat Das has a question for you, actually.
Yeah, of course I do. Can you actually pick up what's going on with the bottom of his shorts here? Can you see that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm not wearing any jocks either.
Yeah, put your hand over it.
Yeah, we
Just
can
quite
tell,
close
bro.
it up. Jay might panic.
Sorry.
Come on,
What is
man.
the PG?
Yeah.
Oh, you're
Oh,
funny,
the
mate.
old Grundle gusset. All right, well, Scott, thanks so much for joining us, brother, and helping us preview some of the footy upcoming. We wish you all the best for this weekend, mate, and hopefully you can get the job done against the Canes.
I appreciate you guys having me on. All the best of the week, and hope to keep in touch.
Bless
Sorry
ya.
for what?
Thank you, Scott. What a bloody good guy.
Yeah.
Getting on the
That was
ball with the
awesome.
boys.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
I don't know. No, you don't get to talk to these guys. Oh, sorry, I'm not an agent. You know what I mean?
What?
What specifically now?
Freddie's first question. he's talking.
Yeah.
He's talking about something that's really genuine. And it's like, oh, it's a great question. And he goes, yeah, but and stuff. That kind of stuff.
I started talking, and
And
when
he
I
repeated several
and
times. I was
and
like,
sometimes I just talk
Mate,
on a
this is a
tangent.
really good question.
I know, mate. No, because I thought Higgins was coming, so I've got a question for him in my head. And then we get here, and then Scotty CEO's coming.
I
I'm
thought
like,
Doss was coming.
yeah.
And then you saw what happened, right?
I was
This is-
panicking, man.
we-
I was panicking.
We're battlers. You
No,
know.
and then the first question you asked
Yeah.
is what I was going to ask, and I'm like, fuck.
Disappointing.
what? How you feeling after the game on
Yeah.
the weekend?
Yes.
That was your question. That was your brain
No, I was
busting,
going to get
brilliant
into. I was
question.
going to get into the physicality of
rushed
Pacific
him.
Island
You rushed
players,
him.
but I just you sort
My
of threw me.
question was, how's the body feeling after your game on the weekend?
Yeah, I
Start
was
the
gonna-
interview.
I was going
but
to
then
ask
he had
that.
already answered
Shut up.
that before he did it. I'm trying to...
No.
Dig up, stupid.
Yeah, anyway, I panicked again.
Yeah, we saw it.
I came back. Did I come back though?
Well, you,
I just had to put an
you
accent
got
on
the
it.
question out eventually.
I was going to put an accent on.
and stuff. And I've noticed as well, you sort of just look off
I've
into
made it a
nothing.
few times.
Oh, okay.
You're sort of just staring. I saw you staring off into
say
nothing.
hi
I
to
was
him,
like,
didn't
what's he looking at over here?
Just trying to think.
Yeah, you were sort of looking at nothing.
Oh shit! What am I going to?
Camera's over there.
Sorry, boys.
No, it's
How many
awesome,
weeks are we
man.
getting in? Are we in? Because usually I write it.
P.S. This combo is normally after the thing,
Yeah.
and we go. Wow.
But usually, even when I wrote them down, I still fucked it the other way.
Yeah, well, yeah. Can you imagine if you had J-Ball going, you've got a question? Like, he just points at you. And I'm like, no.
No, no.
That's what he does. It annoys me.
I thought
He
he
back to the corner.
It's pretty funny. It is pretty funny though.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
good.
I
real
look at
funny.
your face
I'm
and you're
there
like,
going, I'm like,
and I'm like, I know how he feels.
I'm like-
I know how he feels, and I've got time to prepare.
I can't even do an accent. Care?
Sorry.
Vamos.
That's why we're at the bench.
Oh,
So we
the
can't sit up
Battlers
there next
bench.
to Dow.
best show yet.
God, we need DOS back so bad, man.
That was a good interview though.
It was really
That
Hey,
was-
It's good talking to these guys, eh?
Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing just like how down to earth and willing to have a good yarn about rugby they are.
And they even know who we are.
Oh.
How cool is that?
Yeah, I was thinking like, don't say we're going to hook him up with free merch.
Yeah, we said that.
He's a
heaps.
paying customer. Keep him coming.
Yeah.
No, we'll hook you something. Oh, shit, he can see us. Hopefully he does not watch it. Let's get back to the Hospital Cup round 6. Where were we? South has footy players.
I got 5 minutes.
East 15, UQ 51. Absolutely smoked them. Oh, man. This was just a fight to the bottom. Sunnybank 36, North 19. Man, Sunnybank looked really, really good.
They're going to be.
Someone has to sign Josh Fenner.
Mate,
I missed the game.
Someone has to sign him.
Josh
He's deleting
Fenner is a freak, dude. A freak.
Who was at 12?
Who was at 12 for Sunnybank on the weekend?
Yeah, fairly well, he's good.
Yes.
He was good last week too.
Yeah. Mate.
I reckon
Josh
they'll
Fenner's a
knock off a
freak.
couple. I think, is Tom Lucas coming back?
He was.
Is he?
He did.
Was he
All
good?
right.
How good's that?
So Tom Lucas is back in the mixer.
They just need a couple more. Probably. Yeah,
We've been saying for a
fair
few
more,
years
They'll
they
knock a
need-
few more off, maybe. Maybe not.
Mate, Josh
North
Fenner,
though.
but man, he just, mate, he just is unbelievable in every facet of the game. But yeah, the game we wanted to discuss was rematch of that semi-final from last year. Same winning score line in favour of the Gallopers,
West
20 points to 19, and again, West getting out to that almost insurmountable lead in a 79th minute penalty to Jason Hoffmeyer.
The Iceman.
Man.
He loves
Chop
it,
his leg
doesn't
off.
he?
He's playing
He
third grade.
loves
He's
it.
dog
He
shit.
does. He missed 2 conversions. Doesn't matter. Just knock it over. And he
was
trots
just
back.
joking.
Oh,
He's got
man,
that.
he's
He's
got
got that.
trot, dude.
Trot.
He's got that arse out trot.
Yeah, that little arrogant Sappho.
And yeah.
Yeah. No, but that I honestly like watching as I was going down the Goldie. I was like,
Allegedly.
driving. I was like, oh god, we're in trouble here. But we won.
And you didn't even have your best team.
Oh.
Missing Josh Collins.
Yeah, missing. Didn't even need him.
20 didn't play.
20
did he?
didn't play.
Kieran Drani when he
I
came
didn't
on.
play.
He's a
Freens didn't play.
he's a game changer.
Is
when
it
he comes
Hudson Meyer, the halfback?
Hudson.
He's
He's a little gun, eh?
one to
What a-
look out for, and Nick Baker.
Great guy. Yeah.
Bakes is good.
Bakes
But
is
then you
legend.
also got Slippy Richards, who got that ridiculous turnover at
Mate,
death
both
to
of
turn
them.
it. Everyone's like, ugh, and I went back and replayed it several times. Like, no, that is
Turnover.
precision turnover,
Yeah,
mate.
it's sick.
Like,
Yeah, it was there's some good young boys come through, mate. And then Reggie's, my rugby of the week, is Todd Winkley. Do you guys remember him?
oh yeah,
Oh.
we're over a week.
God, he's gorgeous. Not only that, he's coming back to try and chase the 100. And he was unbelievable on the weekend, but you could just see he was dying. He's like, mate, he's running everywhere.
Where does he play though? If he plays Premps,
I don't know. It's not my problem. I've got to worry about myself.
yeah, Freeney's just concerned about
I'm
not
trying,
dying.
I'm trying not to die of a heart attack, mate. Winks is fine. He's got an 8-pack still.
yeah, he's ripped like Rambo.
Vapor, but
But
awesome.
look, I mean, at the end of the day, it is a long season, but West can't keep going on losing these games. Because it does get your head down a little bit. I know they're getting players back, like Vidogo was good on the weekend, and they're going to be
he
getting
was sick.
Carter
He
and
was
stuff
deleting
back. But
people.
yeah,
No,
but they
teams aren't
can't be
bad.
letting these games slide because this is what's been undoing West for quite the last couple of years.
Oh,
absolutely.
And I don't want it to remain a character trait for him.
how good was Mossy when he came on?
Yes,
Scary.
he's coming in.
Wow.
Really well, man.
Speaking of those types of players, can we just talk about the amount of Super Rugby guys who are going to come back and play Queensland Premier Rugby in the next 4 to 6 weeks?
Well, brothers
It's
are going to get about a
scary.
dozen.
Who's getting the biggest injection?
gonna be-
brothers?
brothers?
Oh, I don't know, because Bond are going to get a heap of Fiji Drua. And
What?
Yeah, and then the
fuck
Rebels, the Rebels front,
Like him forward.
the
Rebels
Rebels front
to
row
the
could
Doggies.
basically be Elof.
Now, he's playing Sydney though, isn't he?
Nah,
I heard.
they're trying to get them all to come up and play here.
Fuck.
Elof, Gibbon, and Ulysses.
Playing for the Dogs.
The
Mate, he's
Dogs.
The
Yep.
Dogs! Ah!
And you got Carter.
Yeah, but
Whatever I
like,
just
but
said,
he's
totally
saying that-
disregard. The
he's
Doggies
saying
are going all the way. We're going to win it. Please.
But when saying that,
East-
like for
East
the
got
boys who are
heaps.
playing, I know it's one of those things, but the boys that have been playing, Okay, whatever.
Remember, Australia Ray's going to take a chunk out of that as well.
3
Guys
weeks,
like
though.
Seru, maybe Carter Gordon will be up there. Yeah, it'll be 3 weeks,
You
but
guys had
it's
what
it's
am I worried
something.
about? You guys had them last year. You sucked.
Anyway, it's exciting.
Brothers is going to get a hell of a lot back.
Yeah.
Brothers will probably get upwards of 10 or so players when you really take a look at it. Dogs. Brothers, man.
Jack-
Shoot Shield, round 9. West Harbour 17 to Randwick 20. That was a really close, hard-fought match. East 22, Manly 25. The Marlins absolutely singing. Hunter went down 21-42 to the Rats in Warringah. Gordon 19 to 27 against Uni. Gordon struggling a little bit. You got to go, friends. South 18, Eastwood 36. But the game we want to
Part-time.
discuss. You're a fucking loser.
He needs to eat his
He's off to
his blood sugar
Hellenica.
He's up to
level.
Hellenica with the missus.
You think you're better than me?
He goes, I'm off to Helen Icker. It's like, what?
Yeah.
That's definitely not it.
Off to work on that gout. But the two Blues, 34-33 over Norths, back in the winner's circle again against one of the powerhouses of the Shoot Shield competition. Dow, your mate, they are looking ridiculous.
Unbelievable. And I think they're genuine. Like, we kind of talked about it since the start of the year, but I reckon they're a genuine top 6 finishing team. I reckon they play finals.
Yep.
That's how good I reckon they're going.
Because this isn't just random guys coming in for a couple of games. Like, this is their squad. Granted, they've picked up, a Tavita Funa and stuff.
Yeah,
but,
yeah,
like,
but still.
they are part of their squad. They're playing legitimate footy. They're not really going to get too much back from the Tars, if at all. Like, this is their squad, and their squad is red hot.
It's scary. And it's really, really exciting for the competition down there. It's the closest competition I've ever seen. But I just think it's great to see these type of teams. The two Blues and West Harbour and these type of teams have struggled for so long down there. It's wonderful to see them winning.
Imagine if you saw two Blues win a premiership.
Oh, imagine the party.
Mate, we'd go down, that's for sure.
You have to.
We wouldn't be coming back. That's probably the only concern. But, mate, hell of a way to go out going down there in Western Sydney and absolutely rip and lit at Tweedale Stadium, mate. That'd be absolutely awesome. All right, let's round it out. Time for our rugby of the round. Dow, your rugby from last weekend.
It's hard to split these two. Christian Liliafano from a Super Rugby level.
Yep.
It was unbelievable. He was fantastic. But my rugby of the week was TJ Siaksini. Play for UQ. I love it when he starts.
Yes.
It's impossible for me why I understand the reasons why he doesn't, because he can't
You don't train Thursday,
exactly
you don't play
right.
Saturday.
I get that, but when he plays, he would have carried for over 150 metres on the weekend.
He's ridiculous.
Scored an unreal try, made a couple of line breaks. He was just everywhere.
Against East, who
They're
have prided themselves on
Yeah, well, he's going up against Matt
staunch
Smith,
defense.
you know what I mean? Who's
probably
no
the best
slouch.
defensive centre in the game.
He was
You know.
unreal, and he just gave the outside guys so much space, so
He
much
is
go
a
forward.
freak, mate.
Yeah.
They're probably going to be adding in guys like Lucas Ripley, Matt Greeley full time.
Absolutely.
Oh, man, it's
Steph
scary.
Fargassi to come back. They're going to be really, really good.
They're going to be
It's going to be a great
unbelievable, man.
competition.
It's going to be awesome. Mate, Big Fat Das, your rugby from last weekend.
I'm going the sevens route. Going Henry Patterson, 3
Yeah.
tries in the final. The boys picking up the in London, picking up the
The
gold.
what?
Number
The
1
gold?
cup.
The cup.
The Cup.
And we usually only
Picking
comment
up the
on
gold
the
cup.
men's sevens when they're not doing
Shit.
great, and I think we should actually, like when they do actually win, we should probably embrace it a bit more, because I think we kind of ignore the sevens a bit.
Well, I did send this run sheet out yesterday and said if you want to add anything, you're more than welcome to. So
Not us. as
good
in
intel there, Big
Australian.
Fat Das.
Okay. Who's your rugby?
It's the Australian men's sevens side, the entire side. They deserve to get the
because it's a
recognition
team.
they deserve.
Because it's a team game. Yeah. Oh, we didn't know that one.
No. Mine,
Okay.
mine it's a bit of a left field one, but George Bauer from the Crusaders on the weekend, in 60-odd minutes of footy, he was getting tight heads left and right. Yeah. His running game, but his defensive work, he put on a couple of big shots. I think he gobbled up one pill that was a little offload. That it's players like George Bauer that set the Crusaders apart from the rest of the competition, because he's a front row forward who has a support line running play that can pick up a ball at his feet. Even if it just gets you over the ad line a little bit further, he can shoot out of the line and put a shot on. Like that, he can do maybe 5% more than his opposite number. That can completely change a game. And I think he played an absolute corker on the weekend, man. Tight heads, awesome runs, awesome in defense. So, yeah, George Bauer.
Rugby.
Mate, and the crazy thing about George Bauer, I'm pretty sure he made his debut for the Otago NPC side something like 6-7 years ago, and he said all his boys were getting around him and all this sort of shit, and didn't play again for another few years because they thought, oh shit, here we go. But went to the gym, busted his ass, made his debut in Super Rugby a couple of years ago. Now mainstay, you'd have to say, in that All Black squad. Like, that's the sort of standard that New Zealand rugby sort of sets. Fuck, it's pretty high standard to live up to, eh? Alrighty. Well, that rounds out this week's episode of the PAC Show. Thanks very much, Freens, for sticking around. Good to see you again. Big Fat Das, be sure to say hi to Gregor, the groundsman, for us.
Do we have him back on the blower there, Zachy? No.
Zach's saying nah.
We lost him. The 4G just over there in the corner must have dropped down.
And Dow, thanks very much for picking up the slack again. You're by yourself, no DOS. Mate, it must be hard just carrying the show, eh? Like, we would be lost without you, man. We need DOS back.
We would be DOSed without you. I said we would... No, you heard it? So
I just like how much Das has stepped up.
Das has really...
You guys then put the heat on me, and I'm like,
I really love it.
Sweating.
It really broke my heart when he was like, oh, I didn't tell you I'm going to Toowoomba. I was heartbroken.
Yes, me too.
It really, really broke me. Anyway,
Mate.
You're back.
Visiting my mum. We're having problems at the moment, but I don't want to talk about it.
All right, well, thanks very much for tuning into this week's episode of the PAC Show. Zach on the ones and twos, as per usual, absolutely killing it. Thank you very much, DoubleTake Studios, for hosting us, and Pig Athletic Club for putting this on. Be sure to tune in next week. Enjoy the footy this weekend. Eat a pie on us, and we'll see you next week.